We all live by stories. They're the narratives that shape our world, our choices, and our sense of what's possible. But what happens when our main story just stops working? When it leads us to a cliff edge? Well, that's kind of where we are right now. We're at a turning point that's asking us to write a brand new story for our future. In this image, yeah, it's pretty jarring, but it really gets to the heart of what author David Korten calls our civilizational emergency. We're caught in a story that says life is a resource and money is the goal. And that story, well, it's fueling the flames of our own problems. So, is that it? Are we just stuck with this story? Or is there another way? Could there be a different path? A better story just waiting for us to tell it? And here it is. This is the alternative. This is what Korten calls the path of emergence. It's a future that isn't built on taking, but on cooperating. It's not about maximizing dollars, but about maximizing well-being for all of us. It's a huge shift from a story of me to a story of we. So what's the name for this new path? Well, this brings us to the core idea we're exploring today, this incredibly powerful and honestly hopeful vision of an ecological civilization. And I mean, just take a second to absorb the scale of this. This is not about small tweaks. It's a complete rethink of, well, everything. Our economy, our politics, our culture, the whole shebang, all pointed in a new direction, serving the health of the entire community of life. Now, it's so important to know that David Korten is not alone in this. This quote comes from the philosopher John B. Cobb Jr., a really key figure whose work is deeply aligned with this vision. And he's right. It's a huge challenge to our imagination. It proves this isn't some fringe idea, but a vital, growing conversation about where humanity goes next. Okay, so if this is such a massive undertaking, where in the world do we start? Well, lucky for us, David Korten has laid out what you can think of as a roadmap, a fantastic trilogy of papers that really guide us on this journey. Part 1 of the roadmap is all about the choice. This first paper lays out the why. It makes the stakes crystal clear, showing us this fundamental choice we have between the path of emergency and the path of emergence. The second paper gives us the tools. This is the how. It's like the practical toolkit, right? It gets into the nitty-gritty of the structural changes we need to make to our economy so it stops extracting life and starts supporting it. And the final piece of the puzzle, and maybe the most important, is the story. This paper is all about the meaning. It dives deep into the worldview, the cosmology, the spiritual foundation for all of this. Because, as you'll see, new tools are useless if they're built on that same old, broken story. So let's zoom in on that second paper for a moment. This slide just nails the core idea. We have to shift from what Korten brilliantly calls EGO-nomics, this system of competition that leaves so many of us feeling stressed and insecure, to ECO-nomics, a system based on cooperation to make sure life, all life, can thrive. It's a total flip of the script on what an economy is for. So what does this new eco-nomics actually do? Well, it boils down to 3 really big priorities. First, we have to actively heal the planet. Second, we need to care for each other and share resources fairly so everyone has what they need. And third, we build institutions that actually empower people and communities from the ground up. But remember, just changing the economic rules isn't going to cut it. That brings us back to what might be the most profound piece of this whole thing, the need for a new story about who we are and what the universe is. Korten lays out this incredible journey of our collective story. For thousands of years, most cultures had what he calls ancient cosmologies. They saw the universe as alive, as sacred. Then came the mechanistic disruption, which basically told us the world was just dead stuff for us to use. But now, a new story is bubbling up, one he calls integral spirit, which sees the universe as a living, breathing, evolving process. And this is why it's so critical. As Korten puts it right here, our story isn't just some fairy tale we tell ourselves. Our story literally creates our reality. If we want a different future, we absolutely have to start telling a different story. Now, this is not just some abstract theory. These ideas are the bedrock of a real active movement that people call the Great Turning. It's this profound shift that's happening right now, all over the world, as people work to move us from a life-destroying society to a life-sustaining one. And a key hub for people engaged in this work is the Living Earth movement. Its whole mission is to champion this very vision of an ecological civilization. It's a place where these conversations are happening and where people are connecting to bring this vision to life. Here's the best part. If anything we've talked about today sparked your interest and you want to dive deeper, The Living Earth movement is your go-to resource. They champion this work and provide and promote free access to all three of David Korten's papers we've mentioned. So, the big question is, how do we get there from here? Well, Korten often uses this incredible quote: "There's no perfect pre-drawn map. An ecological civilization isn't something we'll just find. It's something we have to build, together, one step at a time. We literally make the road by walking it." And this is what it can look like. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky utopia we're talking about. The seeds of this future are already being planted right now. They're in community gardens, they're in local businesses, they're in every single choice we make to connect with each other and with life. So as we wrap up this look into David Korten's incredible work, I just want to leave you with that thought. The road is made by walking. So the only real question is, what's your first step going to be?